What is a SWERF? SWERF. What is it? What is this acronym? I've seen this asked quite a bit on my recent TikToks because I have made reference to this term 2 or 3 times in the last couple weeks. So essentially I want to put together this video just to give you guys a very brief rundown on what this term means, who are these people, and why don't we like them. What does the acronym mean? It is a mouthful. It means sex worker, exclusionary, fuck, I can't pronounce that, radical feminist, okay? So essentially it's feminists believe that the feminism ideologies and what they believe applies to sex workers. And we're gonna get into that. I'm gonna start with what is a feminist because a lot of my followers are men and a lot of men seem to think that feminist means that women hate men. That's not what it is, okay? In one sentence, a feminist is just somebody who wants equal rights for the sexes, as in wants us to get the same pay as men, etc. It just means equal to, it doesn't mean better than. That's not what a feminist is. SWERF logic is based on 3 mistranslations of feminism. These are exclusion against bodily autonomy, which, to break that down, essentially means like my body, my choice, okay? I should be able to do whatever I want to do with my body the same way you should be able to do whatever you want to do with your body. The second thing is that these people believe that sex work and trafficking are the same thing. We're not here pretending that trafficking doesn't exist. It absolutely does. And yes, there are women right now in Australia trafficked in sex work. Absolutely. We are not pretending that that doesn't happen. But what we do want to bring attention to is that there are actually higher numbers of people within Australia trafficked in industries like farming, nail salons, cleaning, stuff like that, laborious jobs, than in sex work. So simply attacking sex work as the only issue for trafficking isn't helping anyone. Not to mention that there is a massive difference between consensual sex work, someone like myself that is doing this of my complete own free will. I'm not even in a financial position where I have to do this line of work. I have other options for jobs, etc. I am in here doing this of my own free will. I am not a trafficking victim. That's a completely different thing, and I feel so bad for those women that are trafficked. I really do, but putting us in the same box is ridiculous. It's not helping anybody. We are 2 completely different things. The third thing is this misrepresentation of us as anti-feminist monsters, that we hate the movement, that we align with, the view that women are less than men. We are not anti-feminist monsters. I want women to have the same rights as men. I want women to be paid the same as men. I want us to have the same freedoms as men, okay? I am not an anti-feminist monster simply because of what I choose to do for work. SWERFs are a major contributor to the discrimination and stigma that we face as sex workers. They use their voices and oftentimes quite large social media platforms to silence and talk over sex workers when it comes to these issues like trafficking, like bodily autonomy. They like to paint us as the villain. And it is easy for them to do so because society doesn't like us very much. We are outcasts and a lot of people fear what they don't understand. But talking over us isn't doing anyone any good. We're the only ones that can talk on our experiences in this industry because we actually live it, we actually do it. You think that you know everything about a job in an industry that you have never worked once in your life. And the SWERFs discussing us in the manner that they do only feeds into the likelihood that something will happen to us. It feeds into this discrimination, this stigma, which is what makes our work so dangerous. And they are one of the leading contributors to this. SWERFs have obviously been known to bully, harass sex workers online. They do this every day. It's constantly going on TikTok and YouTube. If you've seen it, you've probably seen at least one video like this. But even worse than that, they've actually been known to dox sex workers, as in find their full legal names posted online, their address, their real phone number, any sort of information that they can find on that girl, who she really is, in order to incite hate against her, to try to get her to leave the industry, to try to rip her income out from underneath her. Doing things like this is actually an act of violence against us. For a lot of women, this is their only way to make money. There are a lot of women with disabilities in this industry. There are a lot of neurodivergent women in this industry, and men as well. And you trying to put us in a position where we can no longer work means that we can't put a roof over our heads or eat, okay? I'm not one of the workers in this position. I am very fortunate to be financially stable and to have made good decisions with the money that I've made in my career, but I am the minority, okay? There are plenty of workers in this industry that make it week to week. And you trying to impact their income, whether that be bullying them so severely that they have a mental breakdown, need to take time off, that you cause a flare up in like PTSD, depression symptoms, anything like that, or that you literally post their private information in order to put them in harm's way. It's just disgusting behavior. SWERF's behavior oftentimes leaves workers in positions where they cannot pay their bills. And what they're pushing for is the abolishment of sex work in general, which would leave a lot of women without any source of income. So tell me, how is this a feminist movement? How is this feminism to try to leave all these women without a stable income? It would make a lot more sense to me if you were advocating for things like maybe training courses being available to these women so that they can leave the industry if they would like to. Government funded or charity funded trade certificates, something that would make more sense. That would seem a little bit more feminist in my mind. They believe that sex work objectifies women. That includes all areas of sex work: pornography, strippers, anything, cam girls, the lot. This is not exclusive to just full service sex workers. SWERFs hate all of us. And this is why we need to band together as a community and stop trying to tear each other apart from the inside. To end this off, sex workers are human beings and we deserve basic human rights. I don't think that is a lot to ask for you SWERFs to stop bullying us, to take a step back and look at what you're doing and actually listen to the voices of the community that you're trying to silence. Take a second to just listen to us when you're saying these things, when you're making statements like where it's the same as trafficking. Do I look like I'm trafficked? Does this look like I'm trafficked right now? You see this apartment? Yeah, I live right in the city center, okay? I've got anything I could ever want, okay? I have access to. I don't have a pimp. There is nobody taking any portion of my money. It is mine, besides the tax man. He takes a very large portion of my money. My work is decriminalized here. I can't face penalties for doing my job. It's just wild to me that they don't even want to listen. And there is no discussion with them. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Anyway, that is what a SWERF is. I hope you've learned something new today, and yeah, we hate SWERFs.